What's going on YouTube? This is Dre the Plug coming at you live with some more technical heat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell button so you guys can stay notified every single time I drop new technical heat. Okay, so in this video, I'm actually going to talk about a question that I get all the time on this channel. And the question is basically, what school should I attend? Okay, so typically people will ask me, what school should I go to if I want to become an engineer, or if I want to go into coding, take the coding route and do computer science. So overall, this is my take when it comes down to actually picking which school you should really go to when it comes down to getting into these fields. Okay, so the first thing, right, let's jump into the facts. So if you stay in state, you'll pay much less money versus actually going out of state and trying to get the same exact degree. In some cases, it could even be 3 times as much as your in-state tuition at a university. Okay, so jumping into another fact, right? So the average student that graduates college these days, they graduate with about $40,000 in debt. What exactly do that mean? It means by the time you graduate, over a course of, I'll say, about 4 to 6 months, the government will be expecting for you to pay that money back to them. And of course, they won't ask for everything up front. Of course, it'll actually be broken down. The standard is about 10 years, right? So 40,000 over a course of 10 years, you'll be expected to spend about $420 every single month for the next 10 years just to pay off that loan. And of course, you got to add interest into all of that. So by the time you add interest to the whole 10-year span of you paying that $420, be looking to expect to, have an additional 10,000 added on to the 40,000. So you'll probably spend in total for your loans about $50,000. And that's on the average end, right? That's completely super average. So I'll say all of that to say, try to get the cheapest degree you can, because when it comes down to the workplace, especially in tech these days, in engineering these days, there's a lot of companies that are not caring about education anymore. All they really care about nowadays is really experience. I mean, unless you get into like oil and gas, of course, your GPA is important. But in most cases these days, like just look at Google. They literally just came up with a whole other program that don't even require you to have a degree. So I'll say definitely look into what really interests you when it comes down to engineering. What really make you want to code all day and become a computer science person, right? So look at that aspect and then kind of think like, what type of company will best fit? Like what some stuff that you can do that you know that you will never be bored or lose interest in? Like what's some subjects or topics that you really will want to zero in and work on all day and not necessarily get bored at it? That's something that you really need to do research on yourself, because everybody is different. So that's one thing that I will definitely tell people when they ask me like what school should they go to. Like really think about like what company that you will end up going to in the end of it. At the end of the whole degree plan, what company do you feel like will be best fit for you? So next you're probably saying like what company best fit me? Like right now I don't even know what company actually go to which school, right? So this is the next thing that I would do if I was you. And I'm trying to get into a school, but I want to still like find some companies, a good batch of companies that actually come and recruit from the school, right? That's what you want to do. You want to actually find a certain amount of companies that you can see, okay, like I'm into cars, okay, I'm into computers, okay, I'm into oil and gas. What companies actually go to these particular schools, right? So let's say you have like 2 or 3 schools like in your head right now that you're thinking about actually attending. What I would do, I would look up the same companies that that really best fit you, and I will go on LinkedIn and I will see how many people recently just started working there over a course of 5 years, 10 years. I'll really just go down the list and just see like, oh, okay, so I see that 20 people just pulled up over a course of 5 years from this particular company that I feel like I will be interested in. That's a really good leg up if I go to this school versus if I go to another school where it's like, man, none of the companies that I was looking for even go to this school. So it's really no point of just jumping and going to this school just for the education, when at the end of the day, the companies that I really want to work for, they don't even go there to recruit. So I won't even be able to talk to the people that I really want to talk to. Okay, so you guys now probably saying like, okay, he mentioned LinkedIn, but how exactly do I pinpoint who exactly from the school went to this company, right? So if you just go on to LinkedIn, create an account, and you put the company first, or you put the university first, and then put the company second, or you put the university second, it'll pop up of a laundry list of different people that work for the company that also went to that university. So that's a really good way to really pick which school you really want to go to based off that, and actually see, oh, okay, like a lot of people already in the company already went to this school. So if I go to this school, it'll be a better chance of me actually getting in. Not to say that if you don't go to a school that, you know, get recruited by this specific company that you won't get in, but I'm just saying it's less likely. Like, it's a totally different ball game when like a recruiter comes to a company and, you know, it's about 30 of them and all of them went to your school. Of course, it's not gonna be too difficult if you're a good student to actually get in. Versus if you're at a university and a company could be somewhere far away, and it's like they rarely ever even show up to your university to recruit just because of the distance alone, it'll be a much more difficult chance of you actually getting in. I mean, not to say that you can't still get in, but it's just not gonna be as easy versus having a whole lot of connections of somebody who already went to the school. In this generation, having a 4.0 is nowhere as near as valuable as it once was back in the day. These days, companies really want to know what you can do, what can you create, what can you produce, what can you actually bring to the company that will add valuable to the product that we are actually working on right now. That's really what most companies are on these days. Like I said, like Google don't even care about GPAs no more. Like, I had a whole conference session out in Silicon Valley, and it's like people was looking at me like, why do you even have your GPA on here? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm from Texas. I'm used to, you know, talking to oil and gas companies. Like, they take GPA really serious. Some people even scratched my GPA off of my resume. That's how much it just don't matter out there in California. And then some companies, some tech companies for sure, some engineering companies for sure. There's a lot of people, they do not care about like what you did in school. They want to know what exactly can you do, what can you create, what can you produce. So yeah, so basically look up your interests. Of course, do good in school. It's school. And then after that, definitely go add your boy on LinkedIn, man. If you have any questions up on LinkedIn or anything, man, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm gonna link it down in the description below. But on a serious note, like, companies these days, they really just want to know what can you do. And when you go to school, you should have that in mind. Like, as soon as you like get to school, you need to start thinking about like, what industry will I want to go into? What actually interests me as an engineer or a computer science person or a coder? That's what you need to actually jump into. You shouldn't go to school and just think like, I'm gonna make the best grades, I'm gonna get all A's, I'm gonna just grind so hard to make sure, you know, I have the best grades in the class. Because when you graduate, nobody cares. Like, as sad as that is, as much money that you put into school, like, especially what tech is going, what engineering is going, like, once you get to these recruiters, when you about to graduate and you tell them you got a 4.0 and they ask for like, what have you created, made, what was your senior design project about, what exactly can you actually add to the project that we're working on right now? We're working on X, Y, and Z, and you just like, I got good grades. And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help my channel when it comes down to the YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any questions regarding anything, just hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on the gram at DreThePlug123. And then also go check out my other YouTube channel. This is actually my second channel. My first one was called Andre ClassicCuts. I basically go in and give tutorials about all types of different haircuts. I actually show people how to do different type of things with the clippers that has never been done, and I pretty much go into detail as to why certain things happen. So definitely go check out that channel. Besides that, be on the lookout for my next content that's dropping. Be on the lookout for it because it's coming real soon. And I'm out.